All right, so this is part two of building a brand. Now, on the first video, we went through and kind of put our ideas and thoughts together and built out a brand guideline. We used different inspiration, as you can see from Pinterest, different places, different images to put the idea, the concept, the thought. Now we entered that into the software we have for branding, the brand architect software that we use for all of our students, and we came up with stuff. Then we went through, built out the names, chose our brand name suggestions based off of stuff, built out our logo, or built out our ideas, our product ideas, concepts, everything else. So we have gone through the initial phase of laying it out down to our fragrance notes, product ideas, what type of accords we want to use, even potential fragrance ideas. So now that we have this, what I want to focus on is the second part, which would be our product line. Now, in the process of building this out, let me get to this section. In the process of building this out, I'm gonna make this larger. What we have here, or what we come to, is several different types of ingredients that fit the I want to call it the thought, but fit the idea and concept or the inspiration model that we built out for this brand. So, in terms of botanical extracts, we got things such as olive leaf, fig leaf, pomegranate seed, grape seed. Keep in mind, we're doing a Mediterranean brand, rosemary, marine ingredients such as seaweed, fennel, sea fennel, marine collagen, gold flakes, pearl powder, squalene. Nourishing oils would be argan, sweet almond oil. Active ingredients, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, niacinamide, things like that. Now, these are just suggestions. These are just ideas. These are just things that we looked at in the process of doing this. This is not the be all end all or what our product is going to do. Now, what I'm going to do on this video is build out a product and the concept of a product, and we were going to go ahead and see what that looks like. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm a stickler in building out stuff. I do it more in my style, organically, stuff like that. But if you were going to build out a product line based off of this, A, I think we need a serum. B, I think we need some type of facial mask. Now we see this rosemary detox facial oil, and that's really good. Rosemary tends to have a scent to it that can be that herbal, I don't want to say herbalicious, but you know what I mean. Scent to it that we can go ahead and kind of incorporate to this. Now, when and this is personally me, start off with the idea or conceptualizing a brand or product, especially since we're going to go with something like this, I tend to start off on Pinterest. I tend to start looking at what other companies have. I don't make it more too complex, too hard, too overwhelming, or too much, but I do like to come take a look and see what other companies are selling, facial oils, things like that, so I can get an idea and a general basis of what direction I can go, what I can do, and just look for inspiration. So that's something that I tend to do on Pinterest, other websites. So if we go through and just the ones I clicked on, regenerative night face oil, and then let's go visit the site. Let's do a quick gander, peruse at it. We got the facial oil. They're selling this for $25. The branding ain't that good. These are just home on printed labels. So this is like a small brand that don't even have a real good description, but they have Halocrisium, squalene, nothing good here. So we ain't even gonna blast on that. Let's go to Joe Malone. Now Joe Malone is known for their fragrances, and of course this takes us to an eBay one. But let's look at this on Google really quick because I do think this would be an interesting one that we look at. So we come down, come past all the shopping stuff. Actually, I was hoping to find it on their website. This must be a discontinued product. So this is Neroli. All right, so this is a body oil, anyways. Like man, it'd be trial and error when we're doing this. When starting this, there's nothing easy, simple. Now this looks good. This is a $120 facial oil. And what I love about Pinterest is the rabbit hole effect. So as we look at something like this, we can simply scroll down and find other something that are similar to this that we can now look at and consider in terms of our product conceptualization and creation. Now, Prana face oil, 15% off, good stuff. 1 ounce, $120. But they got this video cocked. It looks like some of y'all made this. All right, now let's go look at why it works. Age-defying Ayurvedic blend, fatty acids, plant-based trends, anti-aging reduces things. Herbal. And now this is the one I wanted to look at, which is ingredients. So ingredients-wise, we got argan oil, sweet almond oil, sesame seed, barami extract, rose hip seed, sandalwood, amla, susi oil, neem oil, ylang, vitamin E, your geranium fragrance, limonene, citron, and preservatives. So looking at this, this is nothing complex. This is nothing too hard. This is nothing that we can't do. This is all oils. So this is why. Oh wow, this one's 160 an ounce. I tell you guys, man, prices of fish oils are crazy, and it's all about how you brand it, how you build it, and how you make your brand look. If you can step into that luxury brand concept and that look, that feel, and you're not scared to say the price is the price, you will be great. Now, I wanted to see what ingredients this is using. Three sources omega firms. Not understanding why some of these websites, and I know this is only Bloomingdale's, but they should still have. Oh, look past it. Three sources, vitamin E, C, prickly pear, raspberry seed, antioxidant. So they don't really go into what's all in it, which is odd ingredient wise. But that's not gonna stop us. Now, let's see. Reopen Lost Clouds tab. What I'm going to go ahead and do is put these on here as product inspiration. Product inspo. So I want to do it like this. I'll say what do fine. So we have product inspiration. And usually I use Trello for this, but just for ease and for the fact that I could easily and quickly share this links and stuff, we're going to be doing this on Canva. Structurally wise, I do prefer to lay it out um, on Trello. It just works better for me. Sweetie blemish serum. Um, this is an overseas product, and Pinterest is a great place to find stuff that you just won't see. Composition and care, niacinamide. We ain't looking too much into stuff, but I did want to take time to come take a look at some of this stuff and see what all we can do, what all options we have, things like that. Now, skin boost, environmental protection, Moroccan skincare protector cleanses on. This is a really good one. Thanks. Calendula, tamanu, arnica, evening primrose, rose hips, sandalwood, rose oil. All right, I pretty much know the direction we're gonna go and have an idea. So let's go ahead and start with product formulation. So we're gonna call this what we're gonna do is a product brief. And before we do that, let's go ahead and start looking at our products and our ingredients. So we'll start off with Cocoa Jojo. So in terms of this, what I'm going to simply do is build out a facial serum. This facial serum or oil we're going to sell for about $100 a bottle. Let's do 120. And so we got to make sure several things. If you're going to sell a product for about $120 an ounce, you need to make sure that you're using quality products or ingredients. You need to make sure that your product is one that will work good. You need to make sure that your product will hit all the marks, all the things that our customers are going to be needing for us to justify the cost. Now, just based off of experience, I'm going to kind of, and for time wise, I'm going to kind of build this out as I go. But I do want to say some or show some stuff. So Recipe wise, I think I'm going to use cucumber seed oil. I will be using avocado seed oil, but I'm not going to grab it from here probably. So cucumber seed oil. Might use a little bit of neem. I'm not sure on that one yet. Prickly pear. Let's grab it just in case. Rosehip oil. And what we still have to do, and this is something I always say, we still have to price everything out. So just because you open or you know what direction you want to go, or David uses this website or such and such gets their stuff from here, does not necessarily mean that's the direction that you need to go. Now, I know 100% in this Mediterranean themed product, I'm using cucumber seed oil. 100%, I know this already. And so I also know I'm going to be using rosehip oil. Actually, let's go with refined. So the reason I'm going with refined on versus unrefined on this one is solely color. So cucumber seed oil, this is going to be a high quality oil that we're going to add to this. So this is going to be 1 gallon of this, 1 gallon cucumber seed oil. Cucumber seed oil, while you see this has the benefits, what we can always do is simply just do some research. Cucumber seed oil, skin barrier cucumber oil is renowned for its high content of linoleic acid, omega-6 fatty acids that play a crucial role in maintaining the skin's lipid barrier. This barrier acts as a shield. Now, I'll go through, do a lot more of this, and just do as much research, more than just the superficial that I'm showing now. When I'm really building out a brand, I am doing research. Every ingredient I've done research, not the superficial. I just Google to see what it does. So do real research. Time wise, we're not going to go ahead and do all of that, but I do recommend and highly recommend doing real research when you are doing this. So we have our cucumber seed oil that's going to cost $114. I'm looking to keep this formulation around 50, man, or a 5 gallon batch of a luxury fish oil. Um, I'm looking to do it around, give or take, $500. So that shouldn't, if that's not in your product, if $500 for 5 gallons is not in your budget, that's absolutely fine. First of all, we don't have to start with 5 gallons, right? We don't have to start with 5 gallons. Start at where you're comfortable. So if that is making 32 ounces and then adjusting from there, that's what you do. So you don't have to start off at 5 gallons. Prickly pear seed oil is really good, and we may add this in at the cost we're at right now. I'm not necessarily looking to go there. But what I will say is neem oil is good. We are going to add some of that. Rosehip is good. But before we go with this, let's go ahead and go to Bulk Apothecary and just price out some of the other oils that we do want to use. All right. Now, one thing I'm 100% using extra virgin olive oil. This is going to be a good one in here. Probably some neem, safflower. I'm also going to go with avocado oil and then maybe a little bit of argan as well. And I do want to go back to Cocoa Jojo. Now, I'm going to be using this green coffee bean massage oil. And let me explain this one. This says it's a massage oil and it is based for massages. But when we go look at the ingredients list, green coffee, bean, flaxseed, cottonseed, argan, jojoba, chamomile, ginkgo biloba, things like that. Now, you don't have to go with that. You can actually go with the green coffee oil, which is, I feel like I'm overlooking it, coffee bean oil. I believe that's the roasted one and not the green, but oh, but as you can see, the prices for the green coffee bean oil by itself at 1 gallon is about $699. So the reason why I use this one is more cost effective. Is it already I don't want to say thinned out, but is it already what's the word I'm looking for? Diluted? The answer will be yes. Is that a bad thing? The answer is not necessarily a bad thing. So just because something's like this or like that does not mean that it's necessarily a bad thing. Now they're sold out of the 1 gallon of that, or actually here it is, 1 gallon green coffee bean massage oil, $89. In terms of making this formulation, this is going to be absolutely fine for what we're looking to do. So 1 gallon coffee bean oil, we're going to put 89.99. And then what I also want to do for this, I'm going to put parentheses, and we're going to copy the ingredients because when you are putting this on your INCI or your recipe or ingredients list, you do need to have all the ingredients that are inside of a product inside this. So these will have to be listed on the package, um, on the packaging. We're only doing this so when we start formulating, we actually have a idea or concept of what we have inside this. So we're just not shooting from the hip. All right, so we have 1 gallon of that. Give us some space. Let's go ahead and grab this green coffee bean massage oil. Let's do this. So right now, in a 5 gallon recipe, we're at 2 gallons. We have green coffee bean, we have cucumber seed, extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna go with 1 gallon of that. You really can't go wrong. That is 43.65. Now, let me touch on one thing that I want to bring up. When you are creating a formulation, there is no set amount of ingredients that you should or need to have in it. There are one ingredient oils or facial oils that are selling for $120. There are some that has two ingredients. There are some that has different stuff. So when you look at this as a whole, when you consider your brand, when you are branding it out, don't get hung up with how many ingredients. What you need to do get hung up on is making a great product, B, a cost-effective product. Now, avocado oil, we're going to go with 1 gallon of this as well. Now, avocado can be a little oily on the skin and a little heavy. But if you think of avocado oil and when you put it on, it is a dry oil, right? For as oily as it has a dry consistency when you put it on your skin. Now, every oil has its own feel to it. Um, when you are building out your brand, when you are, what size is this? Let me, I have this thing where I need to keep everything a certain way for me. Um, so avocado oil is that dry feel. So one thing I'll always say is test out the feel of your oils. To say it's oily is really just a basic thing. Um, your oils actually have different feels, different consistencies, different textures. And so check out the feel, the consistency, things like that. So we have cucumber seed oil, green coffee bean massage oil with all these other oils in it, olive oil, avocado oil, and now that is at 4 gallons. We can play with different stuff. So we can go with argan oil. We can fill the gaps up. We can add more oils to this to hit 5 gallons or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. We can add more expensive oils, cheaper oils, things like that. One oil that I do intend to add, and I've said it earlier, was rosehip oil. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about this and our price point with our rosehip oil, I will go with unrefined versus refined. Because I am shooting for that more natural oil and feel, then unrefined is fine with this. So we're going to do 32 ounces of that. 32 ounces rosehip oil unrefined. That would be 44.99. The link would be here. So we have our rosehip oil. I did want to add a few other things. So ingredients wise, let's go back over here. I'm going to add some grapeseed oil to this. Um, Cost wise, grapeseed oil is really good. And even as you look at the formulation and the product we're making so far, product wise, we are not spending too much. 32 ounces grapeseed. And let's see if Coco Jojo has some as well, because sometimes when it comes to these two companies, Boca Apothecary has really great prices. But if you want that real deal Holyfield, if I buy grapeseed oil from Boca Apothecary 100%, it is yellow or gold. Yellow or gold does not mean that your oil is unrefined or refined. It's not bad or anything, but I'm selling this at a price point that I really want to run up a check on them. So I'm going unrefined, I'm going natural, I'm going raw, and I'm going to do that in a way that will make me get a bit of money because raw products work really well. So we have that prickly pear. How much is 32 ounces? 4.99 for 32 ounces is wild. So we're not going to add that. But let's look at pomegranate. Now, because some of our oils are green, I hesitate at color wise, but at 32 ounces, I don't think this is going to mess up color to have the unrefined pomegranate seed oil in here. 32 ounces of pomegranate seed. Now, let me tell you why I'm going 32 ounces. There's several reasons why, and you're going to laugh at one of them. And one of the reasons I'm doing 32 ounces right now is just easier for me in formulating this recipe where I don't have to too much worry about um how much I know that I could put 32 ounces times four will be 1 gallon. So in terms of this, I'm just keeping it simple for this I won't call it experiment, but for this breakdown, I'm just keeping it simple. So we have 32, 32, 32. And now we need to add in two other things. So we're going to close Coco Jojo out. Let's go get our vitamin E. Now, I always say this all the time. Vitamin E is really good in your products. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a product or an ingredient that will, what's the word I'm looking for? This is not a preservative, is I guess what I'm saying. What it is, it will help to stabilize your oils and help the shelf life so your oils don't expire as quick as they will. Now, vitamin E in itself will not stop bacterial growth. It will not stop anything like that. It will, however, prevent it from going rancid. So we're going to add our vitamin E, 15 ounces of this, and then we're going to add our preservatives now. In terms of preservatives, there are quite a few options that we can go with. Easy, simplest for a facial oil would be, for me, or the one I prefer is Optifin. Optifin Plus, wide, broad spectrum preservative. And then one thing with that is Preservatives have a percentage rate at which you should be using them. Where you see me putting 15 ounces is simply because I have been doing this for so long with this particular preservative. I have come to realize that the percentage rate of this preservative within a 5 gallon pail is about 15 to 16 ounces. So that's why you see me when I do a a 5 gallon bucket or something like that. I'm generally using about 15 ounces. So we have one, two, so we have 30 ounce, 30 ounce, 30 ounce, one, two, three, and then this. Now, this is just our basic overlay of this facial oil. This is just the outline of what it is. Now, we can do stuff like wholesale. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so there we go. I'm still not running on full speed yet. Now, I don't believe that facial oils should be heavily fragranced, if fragranced at all. Um, I do believe in creating a experience for my customer. And while essential oils are good, essential oils are not always the direction or the scent that we want. Now, I'm going to be using 100% natural fragrance oils in this fragrance particularly, and I'm looking for something that will provide more of a spa luxury high-end scent. Something that is going to be easy, simple on the skin, stay within branding, stay within all of that, so that we have this product now. In saying that, just because I'm going with a Mediterranean style product does not mean that I have to have Mediterranean style fragrance. I can I can play with this as much as I can in order to get this to what I need. I can change out fragrances, I can do different stuff. So, stupid thing. So, in saying that, there's no, let's do it like this, no right or wrong way to go in terms of fragrance with this. Um, what I do recommend that you do is come through here in every fragrance that catches your eye. I would say go ahead and order the smallest size and don't necessarily go off of the fragrance list that they have. The reason why is these fragrances sound amazing when you read it, but when you actually smell it, it is a whole different thing. So just because, and let me reiterate this, just because that it says this or that does not mean that's how it smells. So always kind of just order the small one and play with it. Now, in terms of this, these fragrance oils right here will be fine. I kind of already think I know which one I want to go with. And even though this says Asian Mandarin, I mean that sharp lemon zest with a olive leaf background as the base note, I think this is the one that I'm gonna go with. Second runner up would be this, um, amber. So, and it's hard to really get an idea what these smell like, but these would be the options and the directions that we could go. Now, keep in mind that we are looking. This one I know for a fact smells really good. Um, keep in mind that Lily Neroli. See, this might have this amazing product description, but when you actually smell it, it smells like crap. But what was I saying? Keep in mind that just because you're adding a fragrance or something like that, or the product is this or that, when doing this, let's put in 8 ounces. Always smell your fragrances because you don't want to just pour in something and not have what you need. Now, fragrance wise, even though I'm going with 8 ounces because I don't really want a heavy fragrance load to this, you can go with however much. I do recommend maybe ordering the 16 ounce jar size versus the 8 ounce. for the simple fact that is 8 ounces might not smell heavy enough inside this fragrance. And so by having the 16 ounce, you can then slowly increase how much fragrance you pull in because a lot of these oils that we are going with are unrefined and they may carry over some fragrance. And so, in order to go above that, you have to do it. But at the same time, every fragrance has a usage percentage, right? So, in terms of usage percentages, always do that. Fragrance usage, body lotion is 66.24. We're not going to be nowhere near that. Another thing that I also recommend is, oh look, they got all these calculators that you can use. That's dope. Oil chart for lye soap, recipes and videos, product details. What I actually wanted to look was very fresh, not too citrusy. So that works. That works. And once we actually add this in, we will have a full idea of our percentage because we're going to do the calculations. So now what we're going to actually do is let's do this. We're going to take this right here and we're going to start laying out for a product brief. Create a product. And this Formal Lab Pro is some software that we have for all of our students inside the course. Feel free to use this. I never say just tell it to make a recipe for you or just put the ingredients, put how much you want of each ingredient. Let this calculate, not run wild. Create a product brief for the brand, be a facial oil. And what I always say is give information. So this would be a facial oil. I would also put a Mediterranean inspired facial oil. Formulation will be for a 5-gallon batch size. Ingredients listed below. This benefits of these ingredients. Terms of a high-end skin. Let me fix all my little fast typing typos. Now, like I said, I always believe in listing out as much details as possible. You might see me run through something really quickly, and that's because time. But when I'm doing this and I'm trying to do something serious and I'm taking this to heart, give it as much information. One twenty per ounce. All right, so here's the prompt that we used, and this is not no set standard or whatever prompt. This is this. Keep it simple, and that is this is a brand name what we're making, Mediterranean inspired. Let's put luxury facial oil. Percentages, grams. This guide will help with all the benefits. Formulation guide are as follows. Just to this. So using that, let's hit this one. Now all we got to go to is go to our ingredients. Actually, I thought to do a rose, not even a rose, but a bergamot fragrance for this. But I think with this um, mandarin and olive leaf, it'll work really well. And then we just hit enter. And now what this is doing is building out our product brief for this formulation. And as it's doing that, what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull up a few things because I'm going to show you something that I like to do with stuff like this. Catalyst. I'm going to also build a story around this product. So, product brief wise, this is what we have. Let me not highlight it. We have our cucumber seed oil at 1 gallon, which is 19.19%. And remember when I was talking about our fragrance is 1.25%. Now we could increase this, but this is really dependent upon what we actually, how strong this fragrance is. When you are just doing it like I'm doing it without actually having everything in front of you, even though I know this is going to work because I built something like this before. Fragrance wise, I always want to start low and increase it as I go so I can get a full idea or concept of how it smells. Now, let's go ahead and grab this. Please create a product use and warning. All right, so now we have our product brief. All right, so what we're going to do is take where this was and we're going to just put bam. And just like that, product brief is, let's do this a little differently so I don't have to go through and edit out sizes. All right, now let's do that. There we go. That's a little better. Let's make this a little smaller for you guys. Guess we make it readable. Okay, breakdown from mission overview. Let's have this a little bigger. Make it nice and bold. I'm gonna tell you right now, this product name sucks. That's not the name of this product, but it will be a place sitter for now. So ingredients wise, we have our cucumber seed oil. It tells everything that it does. It tells us our percentages. We have everything here to be able to go. Now, step by step, I actually don't, and this is why I say don't ever let this run wild. It's telling you to heat the oils. I wouldn't actually heat none of these oils because I want these oils within their stuff. Now, heating this to 45 to 50 degrees Celsius is all you're really doing is incorporating, but I will say allow this to just pour it in the container, sanitize container, mix it up, and you'll be fine. Now, in total cost, we're about 483 to $88 under 500. Cost per ounce is going to cost us 76 cents per ounce. Retail price point is about $120. Profit margin 119 per bottle. Now, if we take and if we go pull up a calculator, if I pull up the calculator and I put, you know, 128 ounces, which is essentially 5 gallons. I mean, 1 gallon times five, that equals up to 640 ounces. 640 ounces times 119.24. Profit margin is 76,313 dollars. So if you were to come over here, when sold, take home is now before you get all crazy and oh my God, it's gonna make sense. You have to be able to sell it. You have to be able to brand it. You have to be able to market it. You have to make sure that all you cross all your T's, dot all your I's to be able to gather a price like this down to your website and how your website actually looks. So before you get all excited, just remember this is only a step in it. Now, product use and warnings, we have this. So now that we have that, bam, we have product use and warning. Let's go ahead and grab our same formulation that we just made. Let's go ahead and open up another one of our softwares or two. So on this one, we're going to use the expiration date estimator, and we're just going to drop our formulation in here. That should tell us everything we need to know about our shelf life. And while that's cooking, we're going to do this again. And on this one, we're going to use the one for our cosmetic compliance, which will tell us label wise. Now, when you look at something like this, when you consider something like this, when we are really going through and doing this, what I do want to remind you is AI is a tool. It is not the end all be all. If you do not know how to do stuff by yourself, then don't lean heavy. Learn the basics and then go from there. But in terms of using tools, in terms of using stuff like this does definitely help to speed up the process of what we are doing. And to me, to get you from where you are to where you need to be is more important. I know there are sticklers out here who is, oh my God, oh, formulation police love to talk shit about me, but hey, if a young black guy came out of nowhere and surpassed what I did in the last 10 years in in the course of 6 months, I would feel I guess I'd feel mad and have to write up about them too. Like I said, I wouldn't even care. It would make me work harder. But in terms of this, so this would be the label example. You'd have your product name, your little thing, batch number, net value, 1 ounce, your INCI, your storage instructions used by 9 months from manufacturing date. And really, I would say that your shelf life is a lot longer than 9 months. But your shelf life for something like this would be about 2 years, to be honest with you. Clients review. Actually, let's put compliance review over our, actually, that's correct. I'm just not used to my, what you call it, my label one, my expiration date one, building out a label um, example. But this would be how you would label it, things that needed to be on there, font guidelines, um, macro stuff, everything you need is right here in terms of this product. Let me make this a little bigger because I want this to stand out on top of this brief. And that's what we have so far, and this is where we're at. Once again, this just made out of that $500 cost in terms of our ingredients. This just made us close to 76,000 in terms of profit margins, right? And so now what I'm going to do is take our brief from Formula Lab Pro, copy this over here to our conversion catalyst. And I'm going to tell it to create a brand product brief. A, let's do it like this. Product brief. Conversational. Mediterranean. I'll go back and fix all this other typos. Also make it in a visual of the story. And actually, and I do want to add in some information of the brand. So we added our product brief. We added what we wanted. Tell a story about this brand. It's this, this, this. Brand's name is, and then just feed it information, as much information as you can, right? So I'm just gonna put all this in here. I'm not gonna put all that other stuff. I will put this part, visual identity. And that's simply because the more information, and this can backfire too. As I say, the more information, this can definitely backfire on you. And when it does, it's not always the best. Where you put so much information, it doesn't make a good concept for you or a good story. But let's let it cook and see what we do. In the meantime, while I was doing that, let's do this. High converting. Whenever you're telling it to do a product description, always use high converting and SEO optimized product description. Towards the I always say visually worded or visual style. That is actually how I prefer it. But that is not the way you should have to do it. Just because I love for someone to imagine and see and be and do does not mean that's the way it should go. Worded. Such as Nordstrom, Tom Ford, Bloomingdale's, come on, with some other high-end, high-end brands. Doesn't matter. Should be a story, vision, should be solution. All right, now I've never did it where I had a product storyline, so a story. I've done this for other companies, but I've never did it where I had a product description where I added in the story of the product, right? Like we just built out. And so I'm going to add that in here and I'm going to let that do its thing. Now, let's go down to here where we have our product brief, right? We have the product brief. Too far. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and put in our product storyline. Whispering dunes, the sun-drenched desert, nomads scattered under the starlit sky for centuries. These wanderers carried with them treasures of the Mediterranean and land kissed the golden sunlight embraced by turquoise. Oh, I'm too good with this. Too good with this. Let's make this larger. Let's increase this to 24. So when we come back, let's go get our product description now. This would be the product description we would use for Shopify. We can change it around, right? So I can take this, I can hit this. Actually, I don't. I'm just over here spitballing, but I actually do know what I want to do with this. Imagine. All right, so what I like to do is this one. I like to get the part where they can imagine using it. Please expand. All right, we have that. Let's go ahead and copy this. This would be under Shopify product description. So we have the formulation breakdown. Now we have our product description here. So you see what I just did? We just took this to a whole nother level. Now when we go back here it solely expanded on that one section that we had, which is fine because the truth of the matter is we're not going to be using all of this, especially all these words. But what we can do is pick and pull what part of this really fits with what we're doing. Actually, let's undo. There we go. And pow. And drop this in. Now we have our full product description going and we have our product. Now, the next thing in terms of this is once you get your products, once you get your formulation, packaging wise, I'm going to go to solely for this perfumeoils.com. We're going to get wholesale bottles and jars. Glass bottles with serum droppers is really what I want. Then we want a 1 ounce bottle. 1 ounce bottle wise, these are our options. A lot of options, but I want this to have a great feel to it. I want this to flat square. Let's go with Flint Clear 1 ounce dropper. So bottle wise, this would be our packaging. So now we have our bottles, right? And we know what bottles we're using. So now we just made our life a whole lot easier. And we could also say create hyper. Let's see if we have an image generator. We can use that as a little better than this. Let's find an image generator. Bam. Now, since we have this, we have that. Let's open this up. Hyper realistic image for cosmetic facial oil. So just download this image. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to turn out by telling it this. So even if I tell it to do that, I'm not sure if it is going to give us what we want, which would be a perfect image. And when it comes to images, you got to play around with your wording, how you do it. Actually, using Midjourney is better to do it. But for the simple breakdown, the simple whatever of this will work perfectly. Let's say this image differently. I have to go find it. The biggest pet peeve of mine is searching through my files, downloads for an image of one glass bottle that I can use to do this, but found it. Now this is the part that gets interesting because, and I don't know what's going to honestly happen. Um, I'm gonna take everything but the formulation, right? And that's what I'm gonna use, let it use to come up with the image. And it may just build us a crappy image, and it may not build an image at all. It may put too much stuff. It may do a lot of different stuff, but you never know until you see what it does. So that's why I put it on here to see what we come up with and what it does. Not bad, not bad. But this is just a simple, easy breakdown of how to build a product, how we can take a product from idea and concept to really going to the next level. A lot of different things we could do, a lot of different things we could add, but I just wanted to throw this here and show you part two of how to build a beauty brand.